Hello and welcome to another day in the Milky Way. And tonight I got a great guest for you. She hasn't been on here before, and I found her by happen chance. And I would like to introduce to you Diane Martino from Art and Soul. Thank you for coming on tonight. It's going to be a wonderful night. We're going to do a short and introduce you and find out who you are, what you're all about, and then you're going to teach us a little bit of something.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me, Robert. I appreciate it. And I think the universe connects people. So I don't think you found me by happenstance, which is always interesting. But like your shirt says, frequencies attract frequencies, you know?
Yes. Be the frequency
really
you want to. Yeah, that you want to receive. I tell that, you know, if you want to be, energetic and nice and to people, I always say, hey, wave to your neighbor, give him a big smile, go to the grocery store and smile at the guy checking you out because he's miserable all day standing there. You're going to radiate that upon him, and he's going to, instead of them doing the, did you find everything all right, kind of thing, they're going to be like, oh, this guy is, he's smiling, and it makes my day. I got to stand here all day to get and do this. Who don't want to, anyway, I'm just saying.
And I think people, I feel the same way, and it's all about the human connection. And I think we've been cheated of that the past few years. But what I really feel is that frequency, and especially through color, is really important to activate us, when we see a color. Mm-hmm. So a little bit about me. I'm a certified yoga therapist. I've been doing yoga therapy, meditation, yoga philosophy since the year 2000. Really, 2000. Wow, that's a long time. So I started to get into it, and I had my first yoga teaching certification about 6 weeks after my husband passed away back in 2003, and I've been on the road ever since. And it becomes a lifestyle, and learning to keep your frequency high is not always easy in these days and times, but that's what I'm here to teach people and to share with people, because once you start to do it as a practice and as your way of life, like you go to the grocery store and say hi to people, or, like little old ladies in the grocery store, do you need help with that? And they're so shocked somebody offers to help them. I just feel like we need to get back to more of that. And it is about frequency.
Yeah.
So I've been teaching yoga therapy and meditation, which I think is awesome. We're going to do a little meditation to close out tonight. So if you give me like a 5-minute warning-ish, we'll do that. What I do is I work with people, individuals, to help ease their physical, mental, emotional pain or distress, or whatever it is that comes up. Sometimes we just want to feel peaceful and calm, but we don't know how to get there, right? And I'm here to share that with people because I've been on the other end of the craziness. I used to work with the Grateful Dead. I used to work in rock and roll in the 80s. I was I worked for a major promoter in New Jersey, and I did all the major concerts here for about 4 years in their box office. I did the guest list, all that stuff. So I went from rock and roll to relaxation. So, so what I wanted to share with people tonight is about meditation. You and I had mentioned meditation. And first, I'd like to back that up to talk about breathing. Because what I find is the breath is the most important thing we have to center ourselves. It's the bridge between the mind and the body. We're a conduit for the divine, and the breath helps us to connect our mind and our body. And it's really pretty simple, but it's not easy. I used to tell my students, I taught for a major hospital for 16 years until the 2020 thing happened and we were all, you know, job shifted, everything shifted. But I was at the hospital for 16 years. And I find the most important thing I taught people was how to breathe first. Because once you learn how to breathe and feel, you start to feel yourself. You feel when you're anxious, you feel when you're calm. You just tune in more. A lot of people are always doing. So my goal is to help people to get in touch with what's really important. And that's, I call it your true self, your divine nature. We all have it. We should talk about it more because it's really important. I know you do a lot of the shows on the history of things and the Indians and stuff. And, you know, the indigenous people, like, they're awesome. Like they just work with God and nature. And I like to do the same thing through the yoga, the meditation. And my happiest thing to do is to combine that with creativity. I'm an artist. So the breathing technique helps you to oxygenate your brain. It helps you to focus better. It helps to strengthen your immune system, clears your lungs. You know, there's a whole bunch of other things I teach too. I teach about nutrition and conscious eating, which is like a yoga diet, and, you know, but basically the breathing. So
can I say something about the breathing? Is I noticed, like, I've heard some places where most people are shallow breathers. And, you know, I mean, sitting here right now, I realize that I'm shallow breathing. And you know, I did do one time. I got invited onto a just a meditation with Jennifer Roberts from True Divine 44. And she had us close our eyes and breathe. We breathed in our mouth, blew out our nose, breathed in our nose, blew out our mouth. It was such an experience without leaving my chair. I tell you, I was like, holy cow, there's something to this. I mean, you know, so I mean, I believe in what you're saying there, because it just breathing, people don't do it.
Conscious breathing.
Yeah, because unconsciously we shallow breathe. We really shallow breathe. And I don't know if you ever got one of those. You got one of those finger things where you put it on, you monitor your oxygen.
When I've had some surgery, so yeah.
Yeah, and they put that little thing on. I got one here. If I would have known about it, I'd have got it. But I might do it while you're talking. But you put it on your finger, and then and when you breathe in and out, it monitors how much oxygen's in your blood. Well, like you were saying about the healing, you would heal more if you have more oxygen, right?
Yeah.
And therefore, you know, but I noticed I would do that. I would sit there and and then I watch the oxygen go up, and I'm like, wow, this is really cool, you know. And but yeah, that breathing, it's scientific, people. It's
it's physiological. So physiologically, it works on it works with your doing, but it activates within the body. You have a physiological response, just like you have a physiological response if you're thinking positive thoughts as opposed to negative thoughts. When you're thinking a positive thought, you have good chemicals going on in the body. I'm not going to go through all the chemicals. Just the basics are so, you just need to know the basics. If you want to look up why, or you want to talk to me about it, that's fine. I'll do that. But for the briefness of our time here today, people really need to know that you always have it with you. I used to tell my students that because I taught a stress management class, and I hate to use that word stress. I don't use negative words anymore. So the breathing was always there. Now, the one breathing practice that I love to teach is, first, like you said, just watch your breath. So the way I've taught it, and I continue to teach it for years, is you breathe in through the nose and the body expands. Now, if you breathe in through the nose and your body does not expand, your tummy contracts. people paradoxically breathe. So what paradoxical breathing is reverse breathing. So I'm going to give you an example of correct breathing. You inhale through the nose, your lungs expand, right? Like you fill a balloon. You exhale and your tummy contracts. That's correct. Now, paradoxical, which happens when people are under stress, the body resorts to paradoxical breathing. If you've had surgery, I've had 5 major surgeries on my abdomen, so I've learned how to consciously breathe. My last one, I was doing yoga, and I healed like the doctor couldn't believe how I healed. He was like, your breathing is like, he was really shocked. And I told him what I do. And he was like, well, I guess it works. So, he's a mainstream doctor. But what happens is when you inhale, most people do this. This is incorrect. You breathe here, but you hold your stomach in. So that's incorrect. When you inhale, you should relax your diaphragm, your abdomen, because you're letting the lungs fill to the bottom. When you exhale, they lift up, and your diaphragm, which is your largest muscle for breathing, lets the lungs empty. Mm-hmm. So you want the inhale to expand, this is correct, and the exhale to empty. Most people, when they're backwards breathing, they inhale, hold their stomach in, and when they exhale, they relax. So that's not correct. So it's really interesting how people do it, and it's from stress. I'm only using the word because that's what it's from. So we're going to do like 2 minutes right now, just to get an idea of regular focused breathing. So if you want, everybody, just close your eyes, and I'm going to time it. So we're only doing this for 2 minutes. And just watch the breath come in through your nose, and let your belly relax and get big from the breath coming in. When you're ready, exhale slowly, either through the nose or slowly through the mouth. So you're just watching the breath. You're not doing anything else but watching it come in through the nose. Let the abdomen and diaphragm relax. And exhale. Tuck the tummy back and feel the body contract. So just try that for a few more rounds of breath. Let your shoulders relax. Let your jaw soften. As quiet and even the breath becomes. Watch the belly and diaphragm get big as you inhale. And watch them empty as you exhale. Good, and now just gently and slowly open your eyes. So that was like 1 or 2 minutes. And sometimes within that time, you find how to get into the rhythm of breathing that way. Nice.
So that's the thing, it doesn't cost anything to breathe yet.
And what's interesting is that's like a basic, that's real basic. If you're going somewhere, I always have examples like when to try this. If you're in the car and say you're going, okay, perfect example. You're going to the relatives for Thanksgiving. Take a few breaths.
Anxiety. Around this time of year, people get really stressed out. I hate to say it, but the holidays, traveling, it's supposed to be a peaceful,
shopping.
Happy time. Yeah. And it's not. You go to town, you're on Black Friday, you're beating back the cousin. Hey, I want that. That's $1 I'm saving, geez. And and then you're going to grandma, grandpa's or relatives or kinfolk of some sort. And geez, we got a 15-hour drive, and you're driving a car. Get the packages. Get everybody. You got to go to the bathroom. Do it now, because we're not stopping. And and gone cars, beep beep. Get out of my way. Well.
And then you get there and you forgot one of the kids at home.
Yeah. Oh, Home Alone. They're home alone.
So it's very true. So whatchamacallit, so that's a basic breath. There's another breathing practice I teach, which I love, and you count the inhale, say to whatever you inhale to, and then you double the exhale. What that does is that works on the parasympathetic nervous system in your body, which actually relaxes you because it's massaging your internal organs. So you're actually slow pumping, the mechanics inside, let's just say.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Nice.
So this practice for me is the basis for everything. If you can center, it's a great way to center yourself. I do it before all my yoga classes, whether it's with a group or with an individual or on Zoom, whatever it is. And what I do is creative healing. Mm-hmm. So through creative healing, I call it the ABCs of healing and creativity, because it's the asana, which is your posture. And an asana can be something as simple as sitting here, sitting in an upright, comfortable position instead of Yeah. And the breath is key. And the C, the ABC, the C is chakras. So chakras are about energy centers in the body. For me, I relate to them because they relate to color. Each color has a frequency. And even in the color frequency charts, I won't get too technical. Mm-hmm. The color frequency charts, the lower the color red is our root chakra. That vibrates at a lower frequency than, say, mm-hmm. our crown chakra, which is either white or purple. I like mm-hmm. the colors, so I always talk about the colors. They have, different names and stuff, but for today, and so these frequencies are a whole lot higher, even in the color spectrum. So it's not that we're just saying, oh, it's the lower chakra in your body and this and that. It goes across all boards, like it's the frequency of color. So if you're looking at, say, the color turquoise, so this has a combination of, I say the blue and the green. So the green is the heart chakra, and the blue is the throat chakra. So I always dress in color. So I put a green top on tonight because of the heart energy, and people say, well, why is the heart energy green? I don't buy that, and I said, well, this stuff happened like thousands of years ago. It's not like, they think of hearts in red. Yeah. And I think hearts in green because red is a root chakra color. So I'll confuse you if I keep going on, but I always think in color. Like if you're having a blah day, put some color on,
well, yeah, you got to have a little bit of color here. I'm going to share the screen.
Like so your beautiful background. I love you. You're blocking the chakras. There it is.
There it is.
Yeah.
There we go. I like to have visual effects for people, because here you are describing it. It's like they don't get it. And if they don't get it, you got the bottom and it goes up and it goes, and then you got your crown chakra up there.
So the root chakra is about foundation and groundedness. Mm-hmm. It's about our security and our connection to the physical plane. And it's red. It's called the Muladhara chakra. And it has a sound vibration. Each of them have a sound vibration. And the Muladhara chakra sound vibration, they call it a seed syllable, is LAM, L-A-M. And the second chakra, the orange one, I'm pointing to the screen like you can see me. Thank you.
Yeah.
The second one is the Svadhisthana, and that's the pelvic region. And that is about creativity and fluidity. So the first chakra is about earth and grounding. Second chakra is about water and fluidity. And a lot of people say creativity. Recently, I've discovered that the throat chakra also is for creativity. And I'll tell you why when I get there. And the seat syllable for the second chakra is VAM, V-A-M. For the third chakra, the yellow one, down to yellow, that's the I can't, oh, I'm sorry. I know the name of the chakra, but it's the chakra for the solar plexus, and the sound vibration is Ram. And one thing we do in when I practiced yoga, if we want to fuel our digestive fire, we go Ram, 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 Ram. And that actually stimulates the digestion. It's the Manipura chakra. I knew it would come to me. Like, I know them by heart, but sometimes they fly in and out.
Don't you hate it when it's on the tip of your tongue and you go, oh, whoa, I don't know what it is.
And then you're walking the dog and it comes to me.
Yeah. Yep, there it is.
So the Manipura chakra, and that's about our willpower. And they always compare it to the sun, the willpower of the sun, the fire of the sun, the digestive fire. And then the heart chakra, the green, right? I said I have green on tonight. The heart, compassion, love, all things related to the heart. That's why they paint hospital rooms green, because it has a calming effect on people. Yeah. And that's the Anahata chakra. And the sound vibration is Yam, Y-A-M. And when we won't do this tonight, but I do chakra meditations and relaxations with people, and you can feel the areas vibrate and open and activate, and I do that with color. When I work with people and they're doing their creative healing process, we work with whatever area of the body is in need of the attention, let's say. So as you go up to the throat chakra, that's the Vishuddha chakra, and it's about your voice. And yeah, it's about the voice and speaking up when you need to speak up. And sometimes we just need to not speak at all. Sometimes it's best not to speak. And also recently, I've been reading that somebody I follow and watch, it's a book I've had for 20 years probably. They like to correlate this to creativity, because what forms down in the second chakra needs it's formed, but it's not created. So the throat chakra allows you to create it, to put it out into the world. So this is correlated to creativity. I'm still with the lines of the second chakra and the throat chakra both being of the creative process. And that's something else too, everybody. Like, there are these guidelines, but what you feel, go with it. Just because it's written in a book doesn't mean that's it. Like, if you feel like you need a little heart chakra in your solar plexus, colors mix and mingle, and and intertwine. We don't live in a black and white world and we section everything off. We're free thinkers. So if you feel it, if you feel blue in your root chakra, go with it. You're not wrong. Don't be so
is this the part where you say the body knows best?
Yep. Exactly. You said it. That's okay. And then we go up into the brow chakra. Between the brow is the Ajna chakra. And the color is, is indigo. And this is about your intuition, your all-seeing eye. They say the third eye is between your brows, and it's connected to it's the Ajna chakra, and the sound vibration is Om. Om. You've heard that before?
Yes, I have. I've heard that one.
And the the crown chakra, either purple or white, white of all, you know, the lotus, the iridescent rainbow, all colors. I like purple because I like purple. And there's no sound. It's silence.
Silence. Yeah.
And that's the I have such a hard time saying this. And I'm going to skip the Svazisthana chakra.
Cool. You did it better than I could.
Okay. But what I really want to go back and say, and this is where I really feel the connection for the yoga therapy that I work with. Each chakra is connected to an internal organ. So back down to your root chakra, they say there is no organ at the base of the spine that it's connected to.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it's connected to the earth and some of your lower organs. That's me personally, you know, and like I said, you'll read different things, but what, like you said, what the body knows what the body knows. And if you feel it, go with it. The second chakra, the orange chakra, is about your the feminine organs, your sexual organs, your bladder, things like that. So it's connected to the sexual organs. Yep. The third chakra is connected to your solar plexus, that whole region of organs within the body. So your diaphragm, which is a major muscle, and then the heart chakra, your heart organ, your lungs, you know, and the throat chakra is connected to your thyroid gland, pituitary gland. The brow chakra is your pineal gland. And the crown chakra is your connection to divine spirit. So yeah. So that's a quick 411. Sometimes I need a little bit of, you know, notes with the names and stuff, but basically when I work with somebody, or even when I'm working on myself, when I'm doing my practice, you know, I'm thinking, you know, am I opening the chest? Am I opening the heart? So it's not just a movement or an asana, it's the asana, the breath, and the color that I relate to. And if you've seen some of my paintings, I'm going to actually just share a quick painting right now behind.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to go anywhere, but I will be here. Okay. So this is one of my favorites. Where are you? I don't have it up here. Oh, here it is. This is a painting that I did.
Wait a minute. Oh, there you go. I thought you were going to share screen.
No, I don't know how to do that. I don't want to do that.
Oh.
So this is chakra color consciousness. So with this, we have, see how like some of the colors, there's some red in the green, and there's some gold, and I don't know, I had to get gold in there. But everything's intermingled. This one has a lot of blue in it because the way the video's cut, the picture gets cut off. I missed some of the painting. But you see what I'm saying? Like there's color within color, and that's how we are. We're color within color. So those give you a guideline to start from. But if something else arises, you know, I just, you got to honor that, you know? So.
Yeah, I like that thought. And that's the thing is I was learning from about astrology, and you know a little bit about that. I kind of relate the chakras to like us, and being a you know, when we're born, that moment in time we're created, we're like an individual note of music, and each one of these chakras vibrate that's our signature. But if one of those get misaligned, that note doesn't play correctly. We're out of tune. And
I like that. That's cool.
You know, when we're out of tune, that what happens? You know, if you're out of tune,
illness.
Yeah, you get disease, or you know, sickness.
My Swami used to say Ease.
Yeah, dis-ease. I was trying to say that, but it just keeps coming out, dis-ease. But it's dis-ease, yes. And you're at dis-ease. You're not at ease, you're at dis-ease, and that allows other things to happen to you. Your body wants to correct you into that chakra of your note that's perfect. But in the meantime, if things fill in the blanks, things come in and push into those spots. If you're not using that spot, something will fill in there. Like
you're not aware.
Like your background there, right? You got a bunch of blues, and if that was supposed to be all blue and a yellow gets in there because it's not that way, well, the blues are going to try to push that yellow out, or the yellow is going to try to take over, or you know what I'm saying? And
yeah, I see it more like the pure colors are hitting the note. And I can talk about this because I worked in the music business.
Yeah, there you
now,
go.
If I started, I don't use brown in my work. I don't use brown. I don't use black. To me, that's what you're talking about. When I see the purer colors, they're intermingling in their pure form. Now, if I started mixing browns and grays, I find it's just what I don't do. Other people, but for me, the brown and the gray is what you just so eloquently said.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're mixing those, you're using you're mixing colors together, and when you mix colors together, they make new colors that aren't so appealing, and each color represents a frequency. And so, like you said, you're doing this musical, and then you're in chime with the universe. And if you're not in sync with the universe, you're going to mix wrong colors, and therefore you're not going to operate as efficiently as you would if you were in that one perfect good frequency,
like a higher frequency.
Yeah, and the more your colors are aligned, because I'm sure all of us, our colors are moving a little bit like this all the time. They're some days are good, just because some days are good, some days are bad,
some days are blue, some days are red.
Yeah, well, exactly. And some days, you're what should I say, you're not having that great of a day, and then
your frequency is off.
Yeah, you're just off, and you're off, and then you got to do something to get you back on that thing, like pick up your favorite beverage and you say, this hot cup of coffee, I have to start the morning with this good tea, and
I would breathe. If you feel your frequency off, breathe. It really changes.
Well, exactly. But I'm just referring to, because a lot of people, they can't start their day off without a cup of coffee or that tea or something, or breathing, or whichever it is. It doesn't matter what you're doing, but if you don't start your day like that, your whole chakra thing is off, only because you're out of your routine, that you're out of that sync that you're normally in. You know what I'm talking about?
Absolutely. And it has a lot to do with astrology, since you said you just did an astrology thing. Mm-hmm. There are certain days, like, no matter what you do, you're always off on your left foot all day. And then you just have to go, okay, I'm just going to breathe and I'm going to go with it. So frequency. And I think, I think what we're doing now is we're going to, I see it and I feel it in the work I do. We're healing through the frequency. So I use frequency, a color. I know I have certain friends, they use the singing bowls. Mm-hmm. So we're going to start to frequency heal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got one of these little things, if I can grab it. Oh, and I don't know if you ever seen one of these.
Oh yeah, I have an energy worker. He does that over my body to heal different.
I would do that. My shoulder used to hurt. I'd put it on my shoulder like this. Now my shoulder don't hurt so much anymore. It's 432. I don't know.
Oh, okay. 432 is the angelic frequency.
Yeah, and I just put it there, and or wherever I want on my body, and it would just. But you can hear that? Yeah.
Oh. Can't hear it. The dog can hear it.
Oh.
Where is she? She just left.
A lot of times it's loud enough that. But anyway.
I know, I love
But
tuning
anyway,
forks are awesome.
but
Yeah.
I love how long it vibrates and I can hear it. And some people have the bowls and other things like that. But that's a good example of a frequency because you can actually see this. Another one you could do is take this and then you put it on a paper plate with some sand, and then
Yeah.
you can you can see how it'll vibrate that sand into different patterns or
Isn't that
whatever.
cool?
Yes. So, I mean, it's a way to get your brain wrapped around that it's actually doing something. It's
Right.
not just, oh, look at it's dumb. Look at that. Like that's not doing anything. But if I put it on that plate with the sand, it's making a pattern, right?
Of course, I've seen it. I totally get you.
Yeah, but what if I do it on myself? Well, now I'm making that pattern inside me.
Like water. Did you ever see Masuramoto? I
Yes, with
love
the
him. I met him. He signed his book for me years ago.
oh, you're so lucky.
Like years ago in New York. But I taught from that book once. I used to teach just like I'd go in and speak at a place like, and it was a school for handicapped kids. I was teaching their parents. And so many mothers said to me, that's just BS. Like, and they really didn't. And I mean, these are like upper middle class ladies with like, whatever. And they were so far, it was far into them. And this is probably like 15 years ago I did that,
Yeah.
So, but it's so true because we're water.
Yeah.
You throw a pebble in water,
Yeah.
and the same thing with the seed syllables that I mentioned before. When you're saying them in your mind, when I do the meditation, you bring your awareness, you start to see what arises from you. And sometimes if you don't feel anything, maybe you're stuck.
Yep.
Maybe it's a whole, and when we
Yes.
have a longer time to do, I'll do one where people can chill
Yeah.
out.
Oh yeah. Well, why don't you do your you were gonna do the 5 minutes something or at the end here. So we'll wrap it up with that then.
Okay.
And
Okay.
all right. So where do you want to start?
Where do I want to start?
Yeah.
Let's start from the beginning. So close your eyes
Okay.
and sit comfortably. And we're going to do the 1-to-2 ratio, which is not a very glamorous name, but it's very, very powerful. I use this when I can't fall asleep at night. I use this when I need to chillax, when I need to center and I feel like I'm just not. So close your eyes and you can breathe in through the nose slowly. And you're going to breathe out through the nose slowly, or you can breathe out through your mouth slowly. And what this does is it helps to strengthen your diaphragm, which is the largest muscle we have for breathing. And it takes the breath to the lowest lobes of the lungs, which don't always get used. So begin with your slow inhale, and you're going to add a count. So I like to count Om 1, Om 2, Om 3, whatever you reach. No, just go with the natural flow of you. And when you begin to exhale, you're going to try to double your exhale. So if you inhale to a count of Om 4, try to exhale to a count of Om 8 or Om 7. And you're just going to follow the breath and breathe on your own. I'll give you gentle instructions, but always be comfortable. Always keep the breath flowing for this particular practice. And always learn from somebody who's experienced, because breathing practices are very simple, but they're very powerful, and they can work, and they do work on your central nervous system, your parasympathetic nervous system, and it's very important to be aware of how you feel. If you feel lightheaded, dizzy, or nauseous, you should just discontinue the breathing practice altogether and let the breath return to your normal breath. That's very important, and pay attention to that. So counting Om 1, Om 2, Om 3, Om 4, whatever you reach. Make sure your belly's relaxed. Diaphragm's relaxed at the top of those inhales. And then very gently exhaling. So you're going to stay with the count. And we're expanding the abdomen, rib cage, upper chest on the inhalation. If that's too much to deal with right now, just stick with the count, all right? It's a lot. If it's new for you, it sounds simple, but it's not easy, and that's cool. Like, do what's comfortable. And at the exhale, you're exhaling from the upper chest, the rib cage, and the tummy contracts at the very end. Make sure you relax the belly before you begin your next inhale. It's very important. Stay with your count for the next minute. I'm going to stay silent. And at the end of your very next exhalation, just release the practice, but keep your eyes closed and notice how you feel. My goal in life is to let people feel themselves, to know what it's like to feel your body, to feel the vehicle you kind of tool around on the earth with. You should be very familiar with your body and how you feel. So open your eyes. How do you feel?
Feel pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't realize how much thought I had to put into exhaling or breathing in. Myself says just breathe, and I want to just real fast and out real fast, not, you know, just breathing in slowly was like, okay, but then breathing out slowly was a lot harder than I expected.
Yeah, it works your diaphragmatic muscles. When practicing, I always tell, my students don't always get there, but I do an inhale to a 10 and exhale to a 20.
Mm-hmm.
So, you work up to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why when I recovered from my my surgery, I had scar tissue removed, so I have a cut from my solar plexus down to my pubic bone. And so breathing was really, because I was on ventilators in an ICU, and and it's like so cool though, right? Like you're breathing.
Yeah, breathing, and you don't think about it because it's something
No,
you do.
Breathing.
Yeah, but like I said, when you're talking about it and you're like, hey, breathe in slowly, and I'm like, I never thought about breathing in slowly. It's always kind of,
and then to feel the abdomen, and there's a 3-part breath: abdomen, rib cage, upper chest. But if I'm teaching people who are just learning to do this part, having them do that, it's like, what? So So I find that that's the best way to introduce yourself to breathing, and puts me right to sleep at night. If I'm like, my mind's racing, I just go to that and I can go to sleep. So can I tell
Absolutely.
a really quick story, and
Yeah,
then,
go
I'll
ahead.
let you know. So
Absolutely.
I told this story in one of the videos I did. And about 2 years before, so it was probably like 2019-ish, I was having really bad like anxiety and sweats and blah blah blah. And I don't go to medical doctors. I just don't. I've always worked with an energy healer ever since I did this back in 2000. I've been able to take care of my body really great, except for the surgery I had, which was whatever. But so what I want to say is that I went to this doctor and they diagnosed me with high blood pressure. And they told me that I should stop eating salt and go on a diet. Now, I went from 117 pounds to 110. I didn't need to lose weight. It wasn't my diet. It wasn't any of that. And I kept having, I mean, my blood pressure was uncontrollable. They gave me like 4 different medications, and they would work for maybe a week. And I hated taking medication. Like, I don't take pharmaceuticals anymore now. Prior to that, I had been in 2 car accidents within 2 weeks. I was rear-ended once by a deer, a block from the Hudson River in like Jersey, like totally like populated. And in 2 weeks later, I was rear-ended. I was stopped at a thing, and car in front of me didn't go. I didn't go, but the guy behind me went. And my head went back and forth. And I kept saying, it's got to be structural. And the reason I say that is, and it was, I won't get into that, but the reason I knew it was because I did this breathing practice and it didn't work. Because I had something in my neck that was cutting off my vertebral artery. Any other time, I know this practice works to relax me. So I just want to say that the practice works, but please, listen to what your medical professional tells you, do what you normally do. I just realized from my personal experience that if that breath was not relaxing me, something structural was going on in my body, because that breath is like really good.
Well, and see, that's what you were talking about before, is your body. We should all know our body, not just say, oh, hey, because that's one of those things. The doctor, he gets there, he looks up his chart. Well, it says here, okay, I'm doing the, the thing, anyway, what's his name with the golden mic that used to be on? He'd ruffle his papers and you'd hear him. I can't think of his name right off the top of my head. Died a few years back. Used to listen to him all the time on the radio, and I can't think of his name.
Rush Limbaugh?
Rush Limbaugh. You'd always hear him. He'd ruffle his papers, and you hear that. And the news, let's see this article. But anyway, the point is that, the doctor gets there, he looks at his paper and he says, you got these symptoms, this is the drug for that. You got these symptoms, this is a drug for that. We got an option of 15 different drugs. If one doesn't work, we'll get you another one, but you're saying, hey, I don't think it's any of them. Maybe if I go to the chiropractor, because my neck is out of whack. I had 2 accidents. Nope, not related,
Tell me to go to a cardiologist, then I was done. And what it actually was my atlas at the top of the neck. And it's known to give 80% of the people a high blood pressure reading when it's not their blood pressure.
Yeah, exactly. And
so listen to your body. I love your message. That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Listen to your body. I mean, that was your message. Hey, know your body. You should know your body. You live with it every day, right? and that's the thing. How can you heal yourself if you're listening to everybody else? And like you said, you got to do what feels good for you. If you feel blue, or if you feel red, or if you feel this color or that color, that's what you should be doing. You shouldn't be doing, well, I think it says here on the paper that I need to do blue today. but
Yeah.
I feel red. Nope, blue. You're not taking a test for this. You're saying, I feel blue. Then do blue. That's what's right for you. Hey, that rhymes. You know, uh, but that's the thing, and people forget about that stuff. Uh, I remember going to the doctor one time many years ago for one of these stupid checkup things, and they're like, "Oh, you got high blood pressure. Ah, here, take these pills." I says, what else do I do? Do you want me to stop eating salt or anything? No, you take these blood pressure pills, eat all the salt you want. I said,
It
what?
makes me crazy. That makes me crazy.
I'm like, yeah, well, that'll fix it all. What? So I take some pills and fixes everything? Yep. You'll be fine. Just take them. Well, how long do I got to take them? For the rest of your life. Don't worry about it. What? No. I'm not taking these pills the rest of my life. Hell
Yeah.
no. And I went there. I lost some weight. I changed a little bit of what I'm eating and everything. I felt good. I did take the pills for about 2 weeks. I felt like crap. Now, that's
Really?
not, yeah. Oh my God. I was so wore out. I was like dragging. I just didn't feel like I had energy. It wasn't the thing for me. And I knew my body, and I knew that wasn't the way to go for me. And I knew that I had to do something different. I'm thinking, I'm a young guy. I shouldn't need blood pressure pills at this age. What are you talking about? Maybe I was having a stressful day or something, and maybe this or that or something else. What are you people trying to do to me? And then I'm going to have to take these the rest of my life.
And then they up the dose. They keep upping the dose.
Yeah, because eventually your body tolerates that much, and then it ups the dose, and pretty soon, what am I? By the time I'm 80, I'm taking the with a really high. Wow, holy crap! What? No, I don't want to do that. The rest of my life. Wait until I'm like 70 or 80, then I'll maybe take them to prolong my life a little or something. But at that age, I don't want to. That's not what I want. And look I'm still alive and kicking, healthy as ever.
Yeah, I'm having my official senior citizen birthday next year, so I'm excited.
Woohoo! Good for
Yeah.
you.
The big 6'5".
Wow, good deal.
It's interesting. My best friend, I'm still best friends with my friends from high school, and we talk every day, and I've known her mother years. Her mother's going to be 94. So when she leaves her with the caretaker, she said a new caretaker came and said, and she lives at home. She lives, in a home, in her home, not in a home. And the caretaker called my girlfriend up and she said, "Where are your mother's pills?" And my girlfriend goes, "She doesn't take any." She goes, "Your mother's 94 and takes no pills?" She goes, "No." My girl, and she's fine. I mean, she's senile, she's 94, 95. No medication, and nobody can believe it. So we have, it's possible, Robert.
It is. You got to figure those people that lived 100 years back, there was no pills, and they still live to be 80, 90 years old. So what the heck, right? Most of those people that died off back in the day, they died from pneumonia, dysentery, goiters, things like that, poor nutrition. Believe it or not. Or they would have lived a lot longer, but poor nutrition was the biggest thing.
Yeah.
So
I love nutrition. I used to, when I was younger, I was 200 pounds. And when I started doing yoga and learning about alkalinity, and I've taught classes on alkalinity, sprouting, I've done it all. So I'm only teaching what I know. And I sprout my own sprouts here in New Jersey. And I distill my own water now. And, I think I'm in better shape now than when I work with the Grateful Dead.
Oh, there you go. But remember, everybody, just go out and do what's right for you. If you need to listen to your doctor, take your pills. That's what you need to do. But if you feel that you need to align your chakras, well, then align your chakras. Do some deep breathing. It can't hurt to breathe. You do it already, right? So anyway, with that, thank you, Diane, for coming on. Her links will be in the description below. Give us a thumbs up and go over to her channel and subscribe and hear all kinds of good things. Check it out. She does a wonderful job over there, and you'll learn a lot. And I did too. I checked it out, and I was like, you do this thing, you just got this voice that just gets you in that calm mood. So, I like
Thank
that.
you.
I hope
Thank
you
you
will.
so much.
I hope you'll come back again, and we'll do a whole hour show on a Saturday night, and we'll plan something bigger and better. All right.
Thank you so much for having me. And it's nice to meet all your viewers. And thank you. Bye.
You're part of the soul tribe now. Remember, go out and be the frequency you want to receive, everybody. Love you all. Peace, everybody.